Throughout the history of First MB Church, God has been at work refining us, growing us, giving us new vision, and inviting us to take risks. We recently celebrated our 75th birthday, and we are grateful for the rich history God has orchestrated. First Mennonite Brethren Church officially began in 1943 in a small building just west of downtown Wichita. There were 19 charter members, led by a hesitant and inexperienced 24-year-old pastor, all living life together like a large extended family. As Wichita grew, so did the church. People from the Wichita community were drawn to our reputation for effective kids and student ministry and strong biblical teaching. We outgrew our facilities, moving from Millwood to Gow Street, and then from Gow Street to West 21st. The First MB story is one of continual risk and trust in God's provision. When we purchased this land in the 80s, West Wichita was largely undeveloped. God gave the church a vision to serve families who would be drawn to this newly developing area. In 2009, we started the financial campaign that led to the beautiful worship center we enjoy today. We didn't necessarily know it at the time, but we took on a huge multi-million-dollar building project in the midst of one of the worst economic recessions our nation has ever seen. The church family rallied and completed that project together, which leads us to today.
So, a little over a year ago, I was in my spare bedroom at home early on Sunday morning practicing my sermon like I always do, and out of nowhere dropped 4 words: prayer, risk, surrender, and joy. They were clear, I heard them. I kept practicing my sermon. They dropped a second time, I paused, and then a third time I stopped, and I actually wrote them down. Over the next few days, I became convinced that God gave these 4 words to me personally and to our church family for this chapter in our history. And it shouldn't surprise us that risk is one of those words. Very few great things happen in life without risk. And we are where we're at as a church family because people in our past took a risk. God is calling us to more prayer, more risk, more surrender, more joy. God is calling us to move forward. In the book of Philippians, the Apostle Paul says this: I focus on this one thing, forgetting the past and looking forward to what lies ahead. I press on to reach the end of the race for which God, through Christ Jesus, is calling us. And like Paul, we need to press on and look forward to the new day that God is calling us into. Forward is a 2-year campaign aimed at funding and supporting 2 aspects of our ministry. The first is our mission. We exist to help people find and follow Jesus. This is our mission. And the first part of the Forward campaign helps us to fund and support our ministry budget and vision. It allows us to make an impact in Wichita and around the world. It helps to support kids ministry, student ministry, adult ministry. Our Sunday morning offerings help us connect with our partners like Youth Horizons and Family Promise. Plus, we are able to send and fund and support missionaries all over the world. The second part of our campaign is multiplication. It's become clear in recent years that we are not effectively reaching young adults, single or married, and young families. And you've heard me say this. Young adults do not make up 100% of our church family, but they do make up 100% of our future. This building project will provide new and renovated space not only for our entire church family, but especially for our young adults and young families. This yard will be transformed into a brand new kids wing with space dedicated specifically to kids that is secure and relevant. Our youth, junior high and high school will also have their own dedicated space, plus the gym will provide exponential influence not only into our own family, but into our community and our neighborhoods as well. While we're really excited about this aspect of the Forward campaign, this building expansion, you've been hearing me say that the external change of a building and a name change aren't enough. Do we need a building expansion, a name change? Absolutely. But we need the internal change of an enlarged heart. We need hearts that are stirred with a new faith, a new zeal, a new passion to see people truly find and follow Jesus, to disciple our kids into the likeness of Christ, to reach out to our neighbors and our friends and our community and to help them follow Jesus. We need the enlarged heart and the external change of things like this new and expanded building project. We want these next 2 years to be a journey of spiritual growth for every single one of us. We want 100% participation and engagement, that every single one in our church family will step forward in their faith. So we invite you to join us with prayer and risk and surrender and joy to together move forward.